Yeah, but I think public sector across the globe, and it's just not limited to Canada, are struggling with having data silos, legacy software. We at EY we conducted a massive global survey, and the response has been overwhelmingly suggesting that the data silos, the organizational silos, the burden of the legacy system, the pain of maintaining the legacy systems while also trying to achieve and meet citizens' new and ever-changing needs has been a big challenge. There have been some models that have been proven to be successful. So, for example, in Estonia, which is only 1.3 million in population, so there's a different conversation just about scale. But in Estonia, they have been able to use data decentralization using CX Road, and through that, they were able to make sure the interconnectivity between systems exist. That just leads to a better customer and citizen experience at the end of the day. So what we are hearing, connected systems, common standards, lack of common standards, organizational silos, lack of people trust on government and how they are processing their information, legacy systems being some of the big challenges that the government across are facing. So EY has a big practice, we call it GPS, Government and Public Sector. In our GPS practice, we have made a significant amount of investment through which we do studies like creating these surveys and making sure we get a holistic world perspective into understanding what the problem is and then what the solution is. In Canada, we have a big GPS practice. We have our leadership, we have teams who have specifically worked in public sector environment, have created specific government sector specific strategies in solving some of these problems, conducting studies. Last year, EY made a big investment into acquiring a company, Freshworks, where I was the CEO and founder. Freshworks Studio, we were doing a lot of modernization, digital transformation work with the public sector using agile and nimble methodologies. So EY made an investment knowing this is something that the government needs in the country of Canada, and now we are using that strategy, those agile and nimble approaches, agile policy development, keeping citizen-centric initiatives. All of that is coming in handy when we are working with the public sector across Canada. So EY has human-centered approach. What that means is, regardless of what initiative we have, we try to keep the humans, which are the stakeholders, at the center of it. So we have our technology team, we have our transformation team, we have a strategy team. They're all working with each other, but making sure there's a feedback loop with the end user, in this case, citizens or the government employees, contractors, whatever the case be, we are hearing directly from them. So agile policies, agile development really helps with that. You keeping user-centric mindset allows for us to empathize with the users, understand their goals, their motivations, understand what matters to them, and then eventually create experiences that are more accessible, more enjoyable, just a lot more fun than the experiences that typically exist out there. My experience started 6 years ago when we started working with the public sector. I'm a newcomer in Canada. I only came here 10 years ago. I came here as a student. I was going through university programs, and my first few interactions with the government sites was when I was using the IRCC website to get my work permit, to get my extended work permit, then to get my permanent residency. And right away I knew there's an opportunity to improve the experiences. Then I was using the BC highways. I live in Victoria, so I was using the BC highways open APIs to understand where there is an accident so I can plan my route accordingly. And I realized there's a huge opportunity in the government space to modernize. So what we did with our startup, we used these open 511 APIs and built what is called the BC Highways mobile app. And that mobile app just went viral. We got a lot of downloads because people were struggling to get information about traffic incidents. They were struggling to understand where the construction is happening, and the app that we provided were actually used by regular people, but also by trucking association, because trucking association, the truckers, were finding it difficult to pinpoint where exactly is the problem. That was 7 years ago. 7 years later, we have worked quite a lot with the public sector. In British Columbia, we built the BC Services Card mobile app. Recently, we launched the BC Health Gateway app. We are now across Canada. So we recently launched Your Health Nova Scotia app. The common theme across all of that is the user centricity of it, how we made sure we are talking to the citizens, the end users, getting their feedback. That empowers the end users, that empowers our internal team. They understand what we are working on is something that the end users want and not something in the silo, and overall gives a really positive experience for everyone, which is more enjoyable, accessible, and just a lot of fun. I was running Freshworks Studio until last year, and Freshworks Studio joined EY and became EY Design Studio in last year, July. One of the things that at Freshworks I noticed while I was running it, it's you have to be out there, understand what's going on, understand what the other transformative organizations are doing, understand where government stand is, all of that. But the problem is the government leaders are just busy back to back. They never have time to take a step back, strategize, or really understand what's out there in the market, soak that information in and make some transformational changes or organizational changes that would lead to a better outcome. So Public Sector Network does a really good job of pulling that day together and condense it into one day so that the public sector can actually take that time, come to the event. For us from private sector, and especially now joining EY with our broad practice in GPS, what I realize is there's a tremendous value in us connecting with them to understand where they are and us connecting with us so that they know what we have been doing, like the global scale, the global study that we have done. I think there is a lot of value that is driven in these events that only is communicated if you're able to spend time together outside of your workday and be there in the same place, meeting face to face. And I thank Public Sector Network for that.